I came home. I came home, bro. That's a good question. I came home, threw my computer down, cry. I'm like, I'm giving up.
Because
As a creator, you need to see the fruits of what you're working on. If you can see it, why not? Why are you keeping doing it? I live in a refugee camp for 23 years. When you look at refugees, we come to America because of resettlement.
Yeah.
We resettle. You apply. My family was denied 10 times in 20 years to be resettled to Australia, America, and Canada. So when I live in a refugee camp, I was like, hey, that's where I'm gonna, that's my life. The game just went viral, and I wake up in the morning it's like email from everywhere, San Francisco, like Facebook, and then after 3 days, I was invited to go to South Africa to go and give a talk about how I created the game.
Bro,
For the first
crazy.
out of refugee camp, and then after that.
Yo, welcome to Feed Your Focus podcast. My name is J-Pac. This is Feed Your Focus podcast. I'm here with my brother from
South Sudan.
South Sudan.
Yeah, I grew up in Uganda actually. So
Me too. I grew up in Uganda.
Oh yeah, where in
You're
Uganda?
in Uganda.
Same in Uganda, but a little bit of it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Wow, this
Yeah.
is amazing,
Yeah,
man. You
thanks,
grew
sir.
up in Uganda.
Yeah,
That's
23 years in Uganda.
20?
3 years.
23 years in
Yeah,
Uganda. So
yeah.
you were born in Uganda?
No, I was born as my family was fleeing South Sudan because of the war. So I grew up in a refugee camp, spent it but I know a lot about Uganda, so that's like my home actually. East Africa to the world.
What's the name of the camp you grew up in?
So I grew up in Mbepi, and then we left Mbepi. We went to Adjumani, and then from Adjumani we went to Bidibidi, which is in the eastern part of Uganda, like Koboko, Arua, like Nebi. Man, that's my spot,
I know Chaka. Chaka.
Yeah.
Chaka,
I heard of it. Yeah, I heard of it. Yeah.
That's why I know the word. But I know different places.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Uganda.
Yeah, grew up in Uganda.
23 years.
23 years there.
And how do you get to America?
Yeah, that's a really good question, man. Like, first of all, thank you so much for bringing me on the
We
podcast
haven't got to
today.
that, but we started
I say, like East Africa to the world, man.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah. So when I grew up in Uganda, we grew up in we grew up in a refugee camp, and when I grew up in a refugee camp, we didn't have access to a lot of things, There was no quality education because this is a refugee camp.
Oh, yeah,
a lot of stuff. But I always tell something to people, and I'm going to repeat it. I always say that talent is evenly distributed, but opportunity is not.
Repeat that one more time.
Talent is evenly distributed, but opportunity is not. It doesn't matter where you are. You're in a refugee camp, you're in Uganda, you're in Kenya, Rwanda, wherever you are.
Yeah.
There is always talent. And when you think about that, when you think about like our parents, bro, some of them were like, they could deliver baby, but they never went to hospital. They never went to school and stuff like that. So there's inner talent that God gives you. And what happened is that when you get that opportunity, when people invest in you, that's why I'm in America today. So I can't wait to dive into that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Talent is what?
Evenly distributed, but opportunity is not.
But when somebody believe in you
and invest in you, you can expand that talent to even making more changes in the world.
That's big.
Yeah, man. Like that's when I grew up in Uganda, it took my mother 3 years looking for $300 to buy for me my first computer in a refugee camp.
I know. Also no electricity too.
No electricity. I used to work for 3 hours per day to go and charge my computer.
Yeah.
Sometimes I work in a refugee camp. In Uganda where it's raining every day.
I know.
I'm working 3 hours and it's raining. Sometimes I go and there's no generator, so I have to come back home.
Yeah.
And because I was so passionate about, using computer.
Yeah.
Just using computer was something I was so excited about. Just using, I didn't even know what I was gonna do with it.
All right.
But I was just so happy with it. You know.
People right now already
Yeah.
asking themselves right now, what this guy talking about computers so much? This guy is a genius.
Thank
Because
you.
right now, I know I heard about it a little
Yeah.
bit. I want you to talk. Because right now you're talking about computer, how you will know that.
Yeah.
I mean, we fast
We'll
moving.
talk about
but,
it, yeah.
But I want you to tell us a little bit more about why you were so excited about the computers and what you do now. That at that time you were so hungry to know more. You know, the opportunity and somebody invested in you that you didn't know, but you had the talent.
Yes.
And take us there.
Yeah, I had the passion about the talent. So, you know, going back to what actually got me to what I'm doing today. So when I grew up in Uganda, the first time I saw a computer was around 2012 in my life.
2012.
2012. And that was like...
That's like 12 years ago.
Yeah, like let's bro, like yeah. So what happened was it was during the refugee registration, and I was on a line, and then from there they were registering our name, and then I was asking my mom, I'm like, wow, what is that? And my mom was like, that's a computer, and I'm like, how did you even know that's a computer? And you've never been to school.
Yeah.
And from that moment, I'm like, I want to use this one day, and then one day I came to my mother. That was 3 years later. And I told my mom I want to buy a computer. A computer. And then she was asking me like,
what do you want to do?
What do you want to do with the computer? Where are we going to get the money to buy the computer? Where are you going to charge the computer? Who's going to teach you? But because she was a mother to me,
how you gonna get the money?
a lot of stuff. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then, but because she was a mother to me, she didn't scare me away. 3 years later, she came to me and she was like, I saved $300. I want you to go and buy yourself a computer. Man, she's my inspiration of all time.
Shout out to mama.
You know, like she believed in me. Like I always tell people, like I'm not a self-made person. No matter what I'm doing today, there was somebody that invested, that saw my talent. It was only 300. No matter how much money I'm making today, I'm not a self-made person. You know what I'm saying? So going forward.
So you get your first computer.
I got my first computer in
2012.
That was around 2014 actually.
2014.
2014, 16 almost. Yeah.
You asked for in 2012.
Yeah.
3 years
later on. That was I got my first computer. And you know the question, the first time I got my first computer, how like the reality came to life, but the reality bites sometime. When I said the reality bite was like, oh, I have a computer, and I'm like, okay, now where will I charge it? You know, where will it teach me? Am I gonna?
I don't have internet.
Yeah, I don't have internet. You know, a lot of stuff. I'm asking myself, and I'm like, wow. And then what helped me a lot was, I have two brothers that
big brothers,
little brothers.
So you're the firstborn.
Yeah, I'm the third born. So we're like
Third born.
5. You know,
Yeah.
2 sisters. You know, but because I was a big brother, I asked myself, what am I going to do with the computer? Should I just keep it as like something in a house, like a museum or something like that? But if I don't utilize this, if I don't use it, my brothers will come later on and ask my mother about something that they want.
Like, yo, you boy.
Yo, I bought what? Yo,
he's there
he's
watching,
there, like what, doing anything. So I also, as an African, I had to also set an example. Like it doesn't matter if I'm going to fail or not. Let me actually do something with it.
I have to find
I
something
have to find,
do
you know,
with
say
this.
if my mother can work for 3 years, never been to school, to buy for me my first computer. What about why not me? So I started like, you know, finding place where to charge it and so on. So one day I went to an internet cafe, which was like 3 hours from my refugee camp. Went to internet cafe, and then one of my friend, and this is actually funny. So I went there, and my friend, he was like, yo, let me use it. He was the owner of the cafe. He was like, let me use your computer. And then he knew about video games. So he installed for me a video game called Grand Theft Auto. So when he installed for me Grand Theft Auto, I didn't know. So I came home and I opened my my laptop, and then I saw an icon of Grand Theft Auto. I'm like, damn, what is this? Then I opened it, boom, Grand Theft Auto. I'm like, wow, video game. I never thought like video game are created by people. I thought they just fall from heaven. Like,
but you were still in Africa.
Yeah, in Africa, in a refugee camp. Yeah.
And the game was there.
Yeah, they called like
computer.
internet. Yeah, and a computer. And my friend installed it, and then I started playing. I'm like, wow, like I really want to make a game because like they're so powerful.
Yeah.
And I'm from South Sudan, where 73% of the population are young people. They're
Young
like
people.
under 30. Most of them, they were born in war, raised up in
War.
war, everything,
Oh,
mindset.
born
you know,
in a refugee,
you
born in
can-
a, you know,
you know
moving,
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like it's everything. Their mindset. So when I started playing Grand Theft Auto, it was violent. So violent game, and then from that moment, I'm like, oh, if people play these, I think that's how things are done. You just go like grab somebody's in the car, throw them away, like, ooh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then from that moment, I'm like, oh, how about I make video game as a part of storytelling?
Storytelling.
And storytelling.
My journey.
My journey.
My family
My
journey.
family journey. And then that's when the idea, and then I'm like, okay, shit. Sorry to cuss, but
No, you're good, you're good, you're good,
yeah,
you're
I'm like, now what is next? So for me to make a video game, I have to teach myself. Nobody could teach me how to program, so I would go and download tutorials, and I taught myself how to program.
So did you start doing that when you were
In a
still-
refugee camp.
So you played that
Yeah,
game
in a
that they
refugee camp.
downloaded on
Yeah,
your computer.
computer.
You became very good. And you're like, yo,
Yeah,
how this is work?
Yeah.
Like I want to learn
Yeah,
how it works.
yeah.
Like now I want to change
Yes,
the perspective. I want to change the narrative
exactly,
of this game.
And then I started teaching myself how to program, graphics, everything, and that was so hard. And you know what happened?
No, I can imagine. That's so very hard because at the end of the day, you don't have no internet. You know, you don't have no internet, first of all. And that's 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
YouTube doesn't have a lot of content.
Yeah, like I used to like just, so what I would do, I would download how to program, how to use like C#, C+, and everything, but I have to download them and keep them on my computer, on a flight drive.
So you would download them,
and then
get
go
on
home,
the drive, then go home and rewatch them.
Yeah, rewatch them every time. I would then used to do that.
By the way, that's honestly, that's how a lot of Africans even watch movies. You know, they have to download them and go home, watch them after.
This is in a refugee camp.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm like, I was okay. I made our game in 2016, and the video I made, which I'm still working on it right now.
Yeah.
And then now, like the game is about my mother, a journey from you take a character from a war-torn country to find a place of refuge.
No, let's go back.
Okay.
So what's the name of the video game?
Salam.
Salam.
So I made Salam, which is peace. So it's
Salam
helping
is peace.
teach people how to resolve conflict in a refugee camp. My focus was just for kids in a refugee camp to play the game. I didn't know anything about the industry. I didn't know whether it makes money or something. I just wanted to make something for kids in a refugee camp to play. So in 2016, so hard, right? In a refugee camp, people don't have computers, not. So they only have like a couple of smartphone. 2016, like 3, 4, 10 of them.
Yeah.
So, and there was no internet. So I made a game which is less than 10 megapixel. The APK of the game is less than 10 megapixels.
10 megapixels.
So like it's so light. So it's
for
like
the
a
people
picture.
who don't know, can you explain it for the people who don't know?
So-
for a picture.
Yeah, like almost a lot of pictures are actually heavy nowadays. They can go to 20,000.
Okay,
megapixels.
then it's
less than actually, like even taking a picture nowadays. So the reason why I made that was, I could send it via Bluetooth. So during that time, there's a file, you cannot send a file which is even over something like 20 megapixel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like it's like, and then I started sending the game to the Bluetooth. We didn't have App Store in the refugee camp. There was nothing.
Yeah.
So anyway,
So
just
take
to cut
the
it.
game. So
Okay, yeah, I did that.
So I sign up, I get the game.
You don't
I
even have to
choose a
sign
character.
up.
Okay.
Okay.
I download the game.
Download the game, right? And then you play the character.
Yeah.
As a refugee, you take the character from as a person.
Yeah.
The survival of the refugees is upon you.
Yeah.
Decision making and so on. I will talk about that later on. But after I sang it, one day it was at night. That was like 2016, like around March or something like that, or June. And I'm like, how do I even let this game go to more people? But we didn't have App Store and stuff.
No App Store,
no app, nothing.
yeah.
It was so restricted.
Publicity,
as well. No.
Yeah.
So we're like, I'm gonna upload this game on my Facebook page as a picture, and I just tell people, hey, I made a game.
I made a game.
Yeah, that was around like 9 p.m. Uploaded. I woke up in the morning and the game was viral.
Because a lot of your friends, a lot of your families, they can
share it.
relate.
Yeah,
Because
everyone
you
share,
chose something that people can relate to. Not just because it's high selling, but it's just like, I went through this life. I know I can relate to. It's like, I make this decision. I stay in a refugee camp. I make this decision. I gave my family like a better life than we are living right now. So, as I'm thinking, that's how the game
It's
works.
coming. It's coming in, and it's a live story. And when it went viral, Germany, like Netherlands, the game just went viral. And I wake up in the morning, like it's like email from everywhere, San Francisco, like Facebook, and then after 3 days, I was invited to go to South Africa to go and give a talk about how I created the game.
Bro,
For the first
crazy.
out of refugee camp, and then after that,
from a refugee camp to creating a real game, to going to South Africa and talking about the game. But also, for a little bit, let's talk about a little bit about the game. I don't want to go into more details, but it's like, you get the game, you get the character, a mother, or talk to us.
Okay, so the narrative of the game is, the game Salam is a game where it helps you put you in the shoes of refugee. And what happens is, you play the game, you start the game as a player, right? And then the destination is start. It has a cutscene. So the cutscene is, it helps you understand how the game is. So the cutscene play, and then you start playing. You take a refugee camp. It has a lot of difficulties.
In the refugee, all the life,
like everything, even not
water,
even
no water,
everything,
no food, no
nothing.
electricity.
And those are not just because they are in a refugee camp. It's starting from where they flee their country.
So it depends. Like, if you're coming from Sudan, Somali, Burundi, Congo, Rwanda, like a lot of different refugees, different places coming in.
Yes, and then you go through, and now we are, for the first time, we are launching something called in-app purchases. So what happened is, where in the game, when your character run out of water, that means that they might die because they don't have the water to drink on the way.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? You have to like accumulate point. But if you run out of point, what you do is you have to use your credit card to buy point in order for you to buy character food or water or the medicine.
But for people who don't know,
trading
is still happening in a refugee.
Yes, it's a community of its own.
I got water.
I got food.
Rice.
You got rice. You got goat. I have cows. That trading stuff in order for people to survive.
So in the game, that happens in the game?
Not yet. Not yet. We haven't.
So how do the person survive if they don't have water? How do they get water?
You buy water.
You buy water
with your money you have.
With the money that you have.
Or the point that you have accumulated by winning.
Then you get food.
And then in the people in the West, you use your money, and then what happened? We partner with UNHCR, an organization that actually, when you buy water, some of that money goes actually to direct the refugee come and buy them water.
Shit.
So you're not just like buying food for the game. It's like
my guy right there, the camera guy, also been a refugee. That's why he looking at you like, what are you talking about? But that's crazy right there. So even the money you make from the game is still helping people back there. That's huge,
one thing I like about video game is like, we all play video games. Others play people. We connect, and one day, me and my manager were playing one of my favorite video game, right? And then I kill his character, right? And you know how he told me? He was mad. And he didn't say that, why did you kill my character? You know what he said? Why did you kill me? Say
not even the character. He didn't say the character. He just said, why did you kill me?
Because you're part of that. You become part of it. So my idea is not just now. My idea even 10 years now for kids that are actually playing games today, they might be in a position of power in the years to come. And then they will understand what refugees go through. So if they make even policies and stuff, some people make policies like about refugees and they don't even know what's going on.
They don't even know what's happening about
Not at all, And I remember I won CNN Champion for Change, and I was telling them that we are not here to survive as refugees. We're here to thrive.
Repeat that one more time. We're not here to
survive.
We're here to
thrive.
Refugees
can become who they want. They can be NBA players. They can become entrepreneurs, investors, anything. Again, going back to what I say, the opportunity.
Look at you, man.
You know what I'm saying?
You
Yeah.
born in one country, grew up in another country, and now you're becoming greatness, your highest, even now your highest in a different country, like different continent also. So that's amazing right there.
And the reason, like, I can always say, like, today, almost like, I love what you guys are doing. It's amazing because we do the thing that we do because of our passion. And the reason, for example, if I ask you why do you do this, it's gonna end up, and you can ask me why do I do this. I can ask the cameraman why is he doing this. But for the love of what you're doing, and that love for what you're doing is starting from something called, we use our past and our experiences to create a sustainable future for other people.
Our past
And our experiences to create a sustainable future for other people. Our past, what we went through. For example, when you grew up, you having a podcast was a problem. You couldn't have access to it.
Yeah.
Now you're doing it because that was your past. You're like, oh, I couldn't do it. Oh, it's so hard. And now that's your experience. It's your experience. You're bringing me now. We are creating a space for the people to come that they can listen to our voice.
Bro. We came here just to talk about it a bit. We're here at an event. We're connecting with different people, but we just came here. But I feel like me and you, we're gonna invite you for our podcast, like, so we can talk about more of this. But for a bit, you're a game creator.
Yeah.
I want you to talk about what you do right now. I know you just talked about it, whatever. But right now, what you do right now, and how people can find you, and how people can support you and what you do in your game, so to be able to put you more, like, to spread you, because as soon as I'm done here, I'm getting the game, because shit, I'm gonna survive. I know that. Bro.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna wrap it up for sure. Like, I know we're gonna have another conversation soon. There's a lot. We're cooking, There's a lot in the I know, right? So we are working. I have a team now. JUNUB game is online. You can go junubgame.com. JUNUB games, and the name JUNUB means people of the South Sudanese, like Junubin. So that's one thing I'm working on. So what we're doing right now with the game, we license the game. So we just partner. I won the Channel Next Prize. So we partner with museum. I was talking with one of the directors yesterday, and I was so happy. At 6 in the morning, I didn't sleep because I was grinding. We have an exhibition in French right now at Saint Papadou. So Saint Papadou is one of the biggest museums in the world. So we have installed the game there for the last 2 years. People go there, play for free. Our next market is China. So we have that's what I do, and I also, because I'm the founder of Lual Mayen Foundation. So my foundation I teach kids in Africa on game design and animation. So that's something we partner with, like, big companies like Unity. So Unity is a game that made Avatar. So we actually we get investment from them. And to be honest, like, the best way to support creators is just support them. Just
play the game, download the game, share with your friends.
Share with your friend. Just pray for them, so that they like, one thing, like,
we go put the links
we cover everything,
comment,
and actually, I'm actually gonna do something for them. If it's a video, let me know. I'll send you a cutscene for the game, so we can include it.
Man,
or maybe on the podcast, maybe not.
Yes.
Maybe.
But quick question, one of the last questions. Where's your mom right now? And is she enjoying the investment that she made buying you that computer? Like, is she there? Is she happy, like, supporting you?
Wow, that's a good question. I live in a refugee camp for 23 years. When you look at refugees, we come to America because of resettlement. We resettle. You apply. My family was denied 10 times in 20 years to be resettled to Australia, America, and Canada. So when I live in a refugee camp, I was like, hey, that's where I'm gonna, that's my life. So in 2017, I was invited to come to America. And the next thing happened, the Trump refugee travel ban. Oh, bro. And then I was like, shit, it's like the 11th time. So I was mad, I'm going to America because of my business. I'm just not going there because, I'm a refugee. I came home. I came home, bro. That's a good question. I came home, threw my computer down, cry. I'm like, I'm giving up. You know, as a creator, you need to see the fruits of what you're working on. If you can see it, why not? Why are you keeping doing it? And then I was like, hey, mom, what happened? Is this the thing? Is there a cuss? Whatever, my mom came to me, they were like, why are you crying? And then I told her the same story. I'm like, what's going on? You know what she told me? She was like, Lual, let me tell you something. I'm like, what are you telling me? She was like, do you know you cannot steal water from an ocean? I'm like, what do you mean?
You cannot
Steal water from an ocean. And I was like, how? And then she was like, if you take a big basket to an ocean, withdraw water from it, keep on overflowing.
You
never get rid of it. It keep on overflowing. That's how you are as a person.
So
I pick up my computer. The next thing, man, I moved to America, green card. My family right now live in Canada. My brother's doing amazing stuff, entrepreneur, because of that investment. So the question is, never give up. You can have, one of my friend always say that the journey is better than the destination.
the journey is better than
the destination.
Yeah, man. One last question. How do you feed your focus? This is Feed Your Focus podcast, because just hearing your story, how you stayed on the journey, how you stayed consistent, how you had your mom come tell you that just a few words and you picked up that computer that you threw down and be like, hey, no matter what it is, I got to keep my journey. I don't know.
How do you feed your focus? That's an amazing way to actually call a podcast, actually. And that's very important. That's really very important in life. And the best way to do that is like keep growing. Know that it's going to be a difficult journey. You have to you have to have that mindset and be happy with what you're trying. You have to understand what you're trying to feed. If you don't understand what you're trying to feed,
if you don't understand
what you're trying to feed, you're not gonna
lose your focus.
Yeah, because you don't know. What does it take? It's like having a tree. A tree is for a tree to grow, it needs water. It needs this, nice shade, nice this, every this. You have to keep feeding it.
So understand what you're feeding.
Yeah.
Then your focus
your focus is gonna be okay.
Bro, this is the future, man.
All right, man, let's go.
Bro,
thank you so much.
For you stopping by.
Thank you.
We're here,
Thank
man.
you. I'm happy to support.